What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Apocaflix Movies and Apocaflix Now. Yes, I am not Jacob Bartley. Jacob Bartley is out tonight. He is in the process of actually moving, and he needs a little bit of a breather to make sure all that goes well and dandy. And so I am sub-hosting for the night. I am Jake Berlin, if you don't know me already, and I am joined today by Mr. Gio Ramos, the DC enthusiast himself, and Brian Avlicino, just known as Brian. How is everybody doing tonight?
Good, man. Still raving about this past weekend.
Yeah. Before we get into that, Brian, how you doing on this fine Tuesday evening? Doing good?
Good. I'm ready to eat dinner. That's what I'm really ready to do.
I know. Hey, you had the. I'll just leave.
Hey, I'm not. So, after spending the whole day Saturday, you're wrong. You're crazy if you think I'm not going to spend the whole hour talking about it. So
fair enough. Yes. So through our social media, first of all, if you're not following us on our social media, make sure you guys checking us out, not just on Facebook, but also Instagram and Twitter at Apocaflix Movies. We're staying current with everything movie news, releasing our schedule, teasing stuff we're doing, stuff like that. So make sure you're following us. And then as you know by the title of this video, the thumbnail of this video, we are covering everything DC fandom today. And so we're going to be breaking down panels and discussing panels. I was able to shift the show around, the notes around to make sure we're doing everything DC fandom today. And so we will be getting to that in just a second. But before we get to our next little topic here, Mr. Keith Barnes has joined the show. How you doing, sir?
Hello.
Wow. How you doing, man? How you doing on this Tuesday?
Not bad. Let me recap all this craziness from the weekend.
Yeah, a lot of craziness to get to, that's for sure. But before we get to that, we do have one thing that we want to discuss, and that is our upcoming watch-along, guys. Our upcoming watch-along is happening this Friday. That is August 28th. This Friday, August 28th, we're officially doing this month's watch-along. And earlier this month, we had put out a poll on YouTube, and we had asked everybody to vote. And first of all, thank you to everyone for voting. We actually had our highest voting count this time, which was great. Just over 75 votes, which is awesome. So thank you very much for voting if you voted. But the movie that ended up winning, out of the 5...
it's over?
It's over. The poll is over. We are officially revealing what movie we're watching right here, right now. So we had Avatar, John Wick 3, Mission Impossible Fallout, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Avengers. The movie that won with 37% of the votes, 13% ahead of anything else, is, no surprise, The Avengers. We will be the original Avengers this Friday. I can see Gio shaking his head here in the little queue. Keith is obviously very excited because he did pick the movie. And so I will let Keith just talk about it to begin with, first of all, and then we will get into timing and how it's going to work on Friday. So, Keith, your movie won. How you thinking? How you feeling, man?
Oh, it's fun. Listen, this at the time it was out, I mean, it was the biggest movie ever, right? So there shouldn't be any surprise. I don't know what. It's a movie that we all love. It's beloved, you know. We'll see. It'll be fun. It'll be fun to watch along with. Gio's shaking, acting like he didn't listen. The last one was The Dark Knight, was it not? Did we not watch The Dark Knight previously?
Yeah.
All right. So listen, you should be. You're fine. You're good. I think it's for if you're one of those people that think it's got to be one or the other. Not you, but anybody else. We're evening it out. All right, we're good. You know, we're going with the best Batman movie ever to one of the best back to back two of the best comic book movies of all time in a row here for our watch along. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
And it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to watching it with you guys. You know, reliving this movie with you guys. It'll be a lot of fun. So
yeah, I don't know the last time I watched the full movie of the Avengers, so I'm excited to sit down and watch it, especially with us, because I don't think I haven't watched it with any of you guys. I haven't seen the full movie in like length
years
in a long time, so I'm excited.
Yeah, same here, man. I can't even think of the last time I watched it. So.
Can I just say, can you put that picture back up? I just noticed something for the very first time. Captain America is literally standing on nothing. He's floating in the air.
So that might just be this specific wallpaper, but he's actually standing in a car in other ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this
okay.
this wallpaper might have been fan edited to make sure it fit in a specific range, and he's usually standing on a car.
Okay, because I was going to say, how did I not notice?
Yeah, no, he's
this
usually standing on a
long
car. Yeah,
that he's floating. All right, okay. I thought I was like, wow.
Yeah, so guys, that's going to be happening on Apocaflix Now on Friday. So make sure you guys are checking that out. We're going live 7:30, and we will be just doing the watch along. Nothing else is going to be happening on the show. We're going to be straight into the watch along because the movie is over 2 hours. That way we make sure we leave enough time for that movie. So make sure you check back at that time and join us for that watch along. And I know that Rachel had put something here in the comment for us. What happened to Groundhog Day? Yes, it was obviously a very crazy weekend for us with DC FanDome and other things happening. Brian and Keith will be getting that in the coming days, and you'll probably see that video on Thursday. A little pushback this week, but we'll have all of our movies picked for who's challenged and all that type of stuff on Thursday. And so you'll see that video from them in the coming days. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this discussion, guys, because we have a lot to break down. And the way it's going to work is we're just covering each panel, each movie panel. Those are the ones that we covered. Essentially, our live reaction videos that we did on Saturday, which you can see up on the channel. Those are available. It was a mixture of stuff, but Brian and Gio were on every single one of them, and they were essentially reacting to the channel live. You can watch it with them on our channel. You can find those on the homepage. But we're going to be breaking these down in panels and going one by one, and we're starting that off with the one that obviously is the biggest one coming, the one that kind of had this movement coming for DC movies, and that is the Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut is the one that kind of led the charge a little bit. Officially happening on HBO Max. We got an official trailer for the Snyder Cut. We got information for the Snyder Cut. Not a whole lot, but a little. But what we're going to be doing for this specific panel, and just fair warning for all of us here, I am keeping a time for us. That way we can make sure we get to all of these in a timely manner. And so I'm all for the discussions, but let's try to keep our thoughts in a nice little bubble here to make sure we're getting everything out there as quick as possible. Gio, I'll let you head this one first, man. The Snyder Cut. You've been leading the charge here on Apocaflix for a while now. You officially got your first look. Thoughts on the trailer? Are you excited for it? Are you more excited for it going afterwards than you were going in? Break it all down for us, man.
I can't.
I'll go ahead and put these up too while you're talking here for the beginning. I'll just drop these. I'll go ahead and drop these in here.
Oh,
for you.
Yeah. Oh. I can't tell you how many times I've seen this trailer. I mean, it's just the perfect blend of music and imagery that you're seeing on screen. And if you rewatch the trailer again and you listen to the words that are being sung, I think his name is, help me out, Leonard Cohen?
Sounds right.
Hallelujah, yeah. It just all fits so well. I mean, I absolutely loved it. This is the movie that we should have gotten in the first place. This is the movie that I've been asking for years, not just myself, but millions of others. This panel was the most personal and dear panel because you had a filmmaker interviewing the very fans responsible who started the movement. And for me, that was just very proper, given how much work was put into this movement. As far as the trailer goes, absolutely loved it. I can't wait. And also, we should mention it's confirmed that it will be split into 4 1-hour episodes, and then at the very end there'll be a 4-hour cut that you can watch. So that makes sense. It being that HBO Max was the one who largely put up the money for this project. They want to get the most out of their buck, and so that makes sense. But yeah, I loved it. What more can I say?
Keith, since you weren't with us while we were doing the reaction to it, thoughts on the Snyder Cut, man?
The trailer?
Yeah.
Or just the actual? Okay. Well, I don't know. To be honest, I kind of just looks. I'm still looking forward to seeing it, but a lot of new stuff that definitely was like, wow. I was surprised to see Iris West. We get Kiersey Clemens, is that her name, as Iris West?
Yep.
Which
Yep.
I thought that casting was done by, was that not Rick Fumiyama? I can't say his name.
Famuyiwa.
Famuyiwa. Yeah. From The Mandalorian, right? He was
Yes.
from Mandalorian. Yeah. So I'm glad they're keeping her in it. That's cool to see her. I know she was in that movie. What's it called?
Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl. Oh no.
No, the one. You know what I'm talking about,
Dope.
right? The one. Dope. Yes.
Dope.
Yeah,
Dope.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's cool to see her. Lot more slow mo, a lot more slow motion stuff. Just some more reaction shots. We get a good look at Darkseid, excuse me, and so it's kind of another big gray CGI villain again. But I'm looking forward to getting some context with him. Seeing exactly what his deal is. There's been several versions of that song, Hallelujah. I really don't. Enough Hollywood with Hollywood in movie trailers. God, Hollywood and Kanye West songs. Stop it. God. As soon as I heard that, I kind of did roll my eyes like, okay. I'd rather I see the tone they're going for, and it's definitely a lot darker and grimmer, and I don't want to. I'm sorry to say this. It's going to sound more offensive than I want it to, but it kind of just looks a little bit the same to me, though. To be honest, kind of looks a little bit.
Not at all.
I know.
Here we go. And
To
the
me,
bomb was dropped.
I said, all right. And again, I need to get into the story, what it actually is. But this trailer doesn't look. It looks more like Batman v Superman than Justice League. But at the same time, it also, like I said, I just need to see the actual film, because that's the only thing that's going to make a difference to me, is actually seeing what is actually different. So we'll see. We get like I said, we get what's his name playing football there, Victor
Ray
Stone
Fisher.
playing football.
Yeah,
Ray Fisher,
Cyborg,
yeah, which is cool. Good to see that football game that they were talking about between Gotham and Metropolis, I guess. So, but I don't know. We'll see. I just need to see the finished product when it's a year from now, or whenever it is. So,
Brian.
So I ranked my panels just because I watched every single one.
Yeah.
I went back and rewatched a handful of them. And this one was kind of middle of the pack for me. I had it as my fifth one. It was like good, but it wasn't bad. I don't know. I can't put a finger on what about Darkseid is bugging me. His look. I don't know what it's not bad, but there's something that is like, when I see it, I'm like, what is off? I don't know if it's maybe it's just too much of the same color.
Yeah, that's my issue. It's just a big gray villain. It's a little video gamey. Like I said,
I don't know. I just, when I look at it, I just don't. There's something that's just like I don't know. I literally can't put my. It's not bad. There's something that I like feel like needs to just like be tweaked. I don't know, but it's not. Again, it's not bad. I am excited about the stuff that I saw in the trailer. A lot of new stuff, a lot of cool looking things. It's funny because I'm flat out say I hated Cyborg's character in the Justice League movie, the one that came out. He literally, to me, in my opinion, almost didn't even need to be in it. Now after seeing it, more intrigued by his character and kind of curious where that's gonna go. Because as Gio said, Snyder said he's the heart of the movie. So now I'm kind of curious about that. But yeah, I in no way did I think it was bad. It piqued my interest, and it's funny because to me, like, until they make one giant cut, like that 4-hour one, to me, isn't it just, a mini series, if you would? If it's 4 separate like episodes, like, I'm curious how the episode ends. Like, is it just going to be like is it just going to stop and then pick up?
He'll probably do the, and not to this extent, but he might do the Tarantino thing where it's like part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4.
No, I know, but I'm saying like because when you smush it all together, are you going to have that, or are you going to like make it flow 4 hours?
Well, Brian,
that's what I'm curious about.
Brian, the belief is that there will be some additional photography. I mean, I don't think you spend 60 million on just visual effects. The belief is there will be some additional photography, and that'll help reshape the movie into more of a where it'll flow through 4 episodes. But when it comes together in one final cut, it'll also make sense as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, until I get like that one flow, their episodes. So to me, it's like a mini exclusive mini series. But then once I get that full-fledged 4 hours, then yeah, absolutely, it's a movie. So yeah, but yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a lot longer of a trailer than I thought we were gonna get. That's for damn sure.
It was way shorter than I thought we were gonna get.
Really? Oh, see, now
I said on the panel, or when we were doing it, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if they do a Comic-Con and drop a 5-minute trailer. Like,
see, I
if there's
expected
a
it to be
4-hour
like a
movie. I was expecting a 5-minute trailer for a 4-hour movie. Like, why not? Like, why not just do it? I get what they're doing. We still have a long way to go. I'm still expecting to get a 5-minute trailer down the road. I'll say this: I didn't mind the footage that we saw. It is clearly a 1,000% different movie. We talked about it on the when we were doing the panel. Just not in the sense that, like, and I had mentioned this, how it looks like the same settings, but these characters are placed differently. I had mentioned that, how everything just kind of ticks a little differently than it did before. I don't have an issue with Darkseid at the moment, specifically being that this is the first time we've ever seen him, and we have no context, or there's still editing to be involved and all that type of stuff. So I'll withhold any judgment on him until we really see him in the finished product. And it is a bummer that we won't get to see him on the big screen. Rather, it's going to be on our own screens. That is a little bit of a bummer. The only issue I had with the trailer was the song. I didn't like the somberness of it. That was just my personal opinion on it. I felt like it kind of gave like this downward feeling, or like just kind of like drown out effect of the trailer, because some of the footage was like really like almost epic in a way, and the song didn't really fit with that. Like, Rachel, she was watching us live with it, and she had made a joke like the first hallelujah in the song was when Jason Momoa was taking his shirt off. That was like the most epic thing that had happened in the trailer because the song had fit perfectly. And so I would have liked to have seen like maybe an unused Hans Zimmer score or something else to kind of like amp it up. Because you want to see the Snyder Cut and you want to be like, oh my God, right? And I kind of echo what Brian was saying, is that like going into this, the Snyder Cut was the thing we were all looking forward to see. Walking out, it was the 4th best panel. Like, it was the 4th best in my opinion, right? For sure, Suicide Squad and Batman were above it. Okay, like for sure. Some can argue that the Wonder Woman trailer was better. And so that's just like my feelings on it. But like I said, the footage itself, I don't mind, because I know for a fact, well, I don't know for a fact, but I'm guessing that a lot of the slow motion footage probably won't be slow motion in the movie. That's a Snyder trailer thing. That's what he always does. That's an effect he always does. I'm just saying maybe, but I feel like there were a lot of slow motion shots in the trailer that probably won't be in the movie, but we'll see. We'll see, I guess. It's going to be fun though. I'm excited. Like I'm looking forward to seeing the movie. We get to see Superman in the black suit, right? Yes. We get to see Jason Momoa hammering down an alcoholic bottle. Like, it's just that, and we get to see Flash do his stuff in the Speed Force, and like that, all that stuff was brand new, which is really cool. And I know he's saying that Flash and Cyborg are completely different characters in this movie, and that's what I want to see, because those are two characters that we don't get to see in movies very much. We don't get to see those movies. And so like we see Batman, we see Superman, we see all those characters, we don't get to see Flash and Cyborg. So I hope that he really does put a bright spot on them, because I'm looking forward to seeing that. So I'm definitely walking out of it saying like, okay, like I'm impressed with the trailer. I still have some things that I'm holding back on, but at the moment, I still have very much a positive outlook on it.
Apparently, I heard Bruce Wayne's actually the one that gives him the black suit. Did anybody hear that?
Are you talking about Flash's suit or Superman's suit?
Oh, I'm sorry, Superman's suit.
Interesting.
Not that he makes it for him, but that he actually gives it to him. It's
Interesting. Gio, can you confirm or deny that?
He gets it in the Fortress of Solitude.
Yes,
That would
but
make sense.
Bruce Wayne. No, I heard that Bruce Wayne himself actually is like here. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Pretty
interesting.
much.
That would be very interesting.
That's what I heard.
Huh.
I don't know. I heard that on the weekend.
That would be very interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next panel here because the Snyder Cut is still a ways away. And so we'll definitely be hearing more on that. But the next one we're talking about is the Flash panel. Now, the Flash panel was the shortest out of all of them. No real interaction with anybody that was happening. It was just more of a video put together. But we did learn some cool information as for the Flash. And I'll go ahead and put these new concept arts up while I'm talking here. We have this new look at the Flash in his new suit. And I'll say this was said in the panel itself. It said, this movie, by opening that door that Flashpoint did in the comics, all of these stories and characters can start to collide. And then Christina Hodson, who's the screenwriter for the film, actually said this cinematic multiverse is going to be born out of this movie. It's born out of Barry's story, with Ezra Miller himself adding, it blows our minds the levels of possibility that exist with the context of this character and this backstory. Really, that's all we got with the movie as far as plot points, stuff like that. There's minor things with Bruce Wayne and stuff, but here's a big thing that dropped along with this is this concept art with Flash and Batman. Now, if you look closely, and I can't zoom in here on StreamYard, but that is Michael Keaton's Batman. That is the black and yellow suit with Michael Keaton in the background there, all but confirming that we will, in fact, see Keaton back in the suit fighting alongside Flash in the film, along with what was confirmed last week being that Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne and Batman will, in fact, be in the movie as well. It was also added that the suit that you see here for Barry Allen, the brand new suit, which is very different from Justice League, was actually crafted and given to Barry by Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne. He's the one who made the suit. And so you will see that happen in the movie as well. And then another cool piece of information that was confirmed during the panel is that the Flash name, Ezra Miller's Flash, takes on the moniker of the title after meeting Grant Gustin's character in the CW universe in Crisis on Infinite Earths. So it'll be interesting to hear whether or not him say that in the movie or if it's just given to him in the movie. So I'm very interested in that aspect. But Gio, I'll go back to you first on this one, man, because the Flash has been a lot of topic in the DCEU, obviously, in the last number of years. A lot of directors have cycled through. The movie's kind of been in limbo for a long time, but it's really starting to go forward. It's officially kind of starting to happen. And we don't have too much time on this panel exactly, but just thoughts on this overall and everything happening. I know that we didn't touch on Batfleck as well, so you can kind of give thoughts on that. Just overall thoughts on the Flash panel.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it's no coincidence that before this panel, it was the multiverse panel with Walter Hamada and Greg Berlanti and company, where they explain the multiverse and how they can do different kind of stories without having any limitations, because you don't have to worry about it connecting to this universe or timeline or whatever. So with that in mind, it makes sense that this movie would adapt a certain version of Flashpoint and open up the floodgates to the multiverse. As for the panel itself, it was probably the most underwhelming panel out of all of them because, and I think it wasn't entirely their fault. A few days before DC FanDome, it was announced that Ben Affleck will return as Batman, and I really think that they were trying to save that. One piece of evidence that points to that is the fact that some of the panels got removed days before DC FanDome, and so that kind of proves that point there. Yeah, the concept art looks pretty badass. I mean, I can just see Keaton kicking
I'll go ahead and
ass.
throw that back up. Let's
Turns
see.
around, and then it gets revealed that it's Michael Keaton, and he still got it. So that's pretty awesome. And the thing about Flash's outfit, I'm all for the evolution of a character's look. A lot of times in comic book movies, we see the character have a very amateurish outfit, and then he gradually gets that outfit that we've known from the comics. Great example is Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Granted, Tony Stark gave him a suit, but when he took the suit away, he went back to the goggles and cloth and whatnot. And with Barry Allen, the version that we see in Justice League, it's very much an amateur-like. It's not supposed to look cool. It's supposed to look like it's done from a kid. So in the next movie, when he upgrades his armor and suit, it'll be a natural evolution. So yeah, I mean, the panel, I think, was robbed of a lot of its surprise factor, but I still have to call it a very underwhelming panel.
Yeah, I'll step in here and just because the Flash is actually my favorite DC hero, and I still stand by the fact that I have yet to be sold on Ezra Miller playing the character of Barry Allen, and so we'll see on that point as far as a solo movie and how that goes. But as far as what the panel showed and what they're going for, I like what I see so far. I still think it might be too early to go forward with a Flashpoint, but with how they're going about a Flashpoint, I'm cool with it. With the moves they're making, the characters they're bringing in, I 1000% need to see Keaton say, "I'm Batman." Like, I need him to say that line in the movie because it would be such an underwhelming appearance by him if he does. Like, if Ezra Miller turns around, he's like, "Who are you?" and he goes, "I'm Batman." Like, I need him to say that. Like, I just need him to say that in the movie. Outside of that, like, I'm really looking forward to seeing two Batmans on screen. I'm looking to see the suit upgrade because I'm not, and I get that it's definitely a rookie building suit for Justice League. He's a very young character, but I want to see that classic or a version of the classic Flash suit on screen. And so I'm hoping to see that. And I'm interested to see what they do with the multiverse thing and who else they bring in, because it seems like they're not done revealing characters that could possibly appear. And so that'll be very interesting down the road. Keith, you're nodding your head, man. Thoughts on the Flash panel?
Yeah, agreed. I think, this is just getting started with all the people we're going to see in this film. It's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to it. Gio last week definitely talked me into the Flashpoint story and doing it at this time. I think it's going to be fun. I wonder if, as far as Michael Keaton goes, I wonder if this is going to be a time travel situation, and will they do some de-aging? Is he going back to 1989 or 1990? And we might
that's something we haven't thought about or talked about, at least. That's interesting.
I kind of think that might be the situation, because maybe he'll be the older, Batman, maybe, but I kind of wonder. That might de-age Michael Keaton. We might get the young Batman in a Flash for whatever reason. It goes back in time. I have no idea what in the world will be going on in that situation, but that would be my prediction. I kind of think that's where that's going. But man, there's so much. There's Reverse Flash. I mean, I was really kind of hoping to get a little. I kind of agree with Gio. It's a little underwhelming in that sense. I was kind of hoping we would see that. See whoever did they cast that character, the Reverse Flash?
They haven't cast Reverse Flash yet, and that character needs to be on point. They need to cast that character perfectly.
I wanted to see that. Or if they're still going to do it, maybe they won't, use that character anymore. I can't imagine not, but he's a big part of Flashpoint. But other than that, it's exciting, man. I'm because I love the Flash too. Not quite my favorite. He's up there, probably in my top 4 or 5 DC characters. So I'm a big fan of his as well. I wonder also if Grant Gustin, maybe. You think the chance?
I wanted to. Maybe he appears in the movie, which would be really cool.
Briefly, I kind of think maybe there's a chance. I mean, no one thought we'd see Ezra Miller on the show. That was a big surprise for everyone. So I don't see why not. And certainly, if the idea that he's getting his name from him, that's pretty funny. So I'm looking forward to it, man. definitely turned around on this. Now it's like you said, they're actually doing it, right? I'll be a little more convinced when they start shooting and have a trailer, but still, it seems like this one's it's finally getting going. So, looking forward to it. It's good to see actually some tangible evidence of this movie getting started. So.
Brian?
Yeah, I had this one as my number 6 out of 8. So I agree with you. It was a little underwhelming. I'm excited for the Keaton photo. That was dope. I'm really hoping that that's his the old-fashioned his Batmobile in the background. But right back there. The only thing that scares me, and you can leave this up, Jake, with this suit is the second I saw the suit, I immediately in my head went, oh my God, that's Green Lantern's type of suit. The Green Lantern movie where it's like the power is like constantly flowing through him. Do you remember that?
Well, I think these are shots of him moving. Like this is a shot of him moving. I think this is a shot of him moving, and they're just showing that the lightning is his thing. I can see the texture maybe, but I don't necessarily think that he's going to be like glowing like they will be in the Green Lantern movie.
He always has a trail of lightning behind him whenever he's running, so it's probably that could be.
Yeah. So I mean, as long as any movie stays far away from this, what Green Lantern did, that's fine. But I mean, I agree with Gio that if those things wouldn't have been spoiled, I bet you it would have been like, probably one of the most talked about things. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I didn't learn too much, so that's why I have it kind of on the lower end.
There's still a lot to learn from this movie. There's still a long way to go for this movie. So, okay, so let's get into our next panel here, and this is going to wrap up the first part of this real quick, and this is going to be a very short one. The Shazam panel. Nothing really happened from this panel. We just learned that the official name for the sequel is officially Shazam: Fury of the Gods. And they had a little bit of joking around with that as far as like what that means and why are the gods going to be pissed off and that kind of stuff. And so there's going to be a lot more to learn about that. Nothing has been shot or anything like that. The other information that we learned about this is that the supporting cast from the first one is back, and that includes the Shazam family because both Megan Good and Adam Brody were both on the panel, and they play say it again.
And the little girl, I forgot her.
Well, no, I'm saying the older versions of the kids.
Yeah.
They play they play 2 of the older versions of the kids, and that all but confirms that we're going to be seeing the Shazam family back with Zachary Levi in spurts, of course, with the rest of the cast. And so, just quick thoughts on the title and that happening. How are you looking forward to Shazam 2? G, I'll go back to you on this one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Shazam 2. I think the movie, even though it wasn't my favorite, it still had a lot of heart to it. And for me, that's a plus. I still don't know what Fury of the Gods means. And more importantly, I don't know if Sinbad's going to be in the movie or not, because some people were telling me that was just a joke that they ran with, because apparently Sinbad had another movie out. Correct me if I'm wrong, Keith. It was called Shazam.
Are you talking about Sinbad, the comedian? The comedian Sinbad?
I think, wasn't it Kazam?
No, I think he had a movie called Shazam.
Kazam.
Oh, yeah. Shax was Kazam. That was it.
Right. But actually, Keith, were you on that panel or with us on that panel?
No.
You weren't?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't sit in on that one.
Yeah, Sinbad popped up, and I'm like, what?
There's a movie called random. Shazam. It's spelled Shazam, and he plays a genie. And his name is Shazam.
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
Yeah, but when they did a concept art of the poster, he was on it. He was on the panel. Yeah. So I'm just, like, is he in the movie or not?
He is. He'll be a cameo.
Movie. That's hilarious if he is.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, yeah, it'll be cool to see them all back together again. I still don't know how I feel about the whole like more than one Shazam. There's like 6 all of a sudden. But maybe that's just Black Adam when he gets there and starts wiping them out. Who knows?
Well, he's technically part of that family. He's the seventh member.
Nah, see, I heard that Taki Tani was actually rumored to be the 7th member.
Well, there is someone else who picks it up, but Black Adam was given the power long ago.
Yeah,
right.
And he's the final member of that actual family, but it ends up being original at one point. Yeah, he's the original, and the power actually was never taken away.
Yeah, they just threw him in the.
They imprisoned him in some.
What's it called?
We don't have time. We don't have time to.
The one that Superman throws him in to get
the Phantom Zone.
Oh, the Phantom
Yes,
Zone.
that's
sort of like the.
Yeah. But yeah, this one, this was my second to least favorite one. Although someone did put in our Apocaflix comments that they theorize that the fury of the gods is going to revolve around each person's different power, and that god is pissed off at them. Which that could be kind of cool, because you know how each kid has a different, like, one runs fast, one does this and this. So they think that their theory was that it's going to, those gods are going to somehow tie into the character, which could be kind of cool. So,
Keith, any thoughts on this one before we move on?
Looks like fun. I wonder if they're going to do, because the kids it's going to be a few years now by the time we get to the kids again. So I hope they don't try to de-age them. Like a couple weeks ago, or now about a month ago, I watched It Chapter 2, and I noticed they try to de-age the kids in that to make them look like it was the same from 3-4 years ago or whatever when they shot that, and it didn't look great. So I hope they don't do this. I hope it just picks up maybe just a couple years later. Everybody's a little bit older. It's okay to let the kids age a little bit. But other than that, I love Shazam. Seems like I might have liked it more than I guess the rest of the crew. But so I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm curious. Like Fury of the Gods. I don't know why they ended with that weird post credit thing with the worm guy, which I don't want to see. But I don't know it.
Mr. Mind or Mastermind?
Yeah. I don't really care for that. And I hope there is more of a Black Adam tie-in than what they've revealed, but we'll see.
See, to me, I know we're moving on, but to me, this, in my opinion, I felt that they were moving farther away from Black Adam after this. Like almost kind of just distancing it a little bit.
I think that they're separating Shazam and Black Adam, and they're putting Black Adam and Superman on a collision course. I think that's their goal. I think that's their goal, which will include Shazam, obviously, but I think they're going to keep it away from the Shazam franchise and bring Shazam into that rather than bringing them into Shazam.
Yeah.
Maybe. Because they did team up to fight Black Adam at some point. So.
Yeah, anyway. very true. Okay, Gio, why don't you tell them a little bit about some Apocaflix swag before we move on, man?
Absolutely. Much like this shirt that I'm wearing, you guys can go to tpublic.com where you can find a lot of our merchandise, t-shirts from every show that we do here, Nerd Nation, Cast and Table, Padawan, even funny moments like Disturbing in a Good Way, Obi-Wan smashing Kenobi, whatever that means. And also spin-off shows from that we all do on our own. That's like the Off the Grid, a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers podcast, A Certain Point of View, if you guys are fans of the Schmodown, Bartley and Barnes, First Round Fantasy for all you football fans out there. Yep, there you go, Keith. And, of course, the DC Enthusiast podcast if you love DC movies. But go to www.tpublic.com/user/Apocaflix and support the channel. And we really do appreciate it. If you happen to buy a shirt, share it on social media, and we'll show you love.
100%. Yes, show us some love on social media. We'd love to see you guys in any kind of Apocaflix swag. So
gotta get that DC shirt, man. I love it. Like that DC.
Good job, Jake.
Gotta get
You're welcome, man. You're welcome, man. I wish and I'm not giving any crap.
Oh,
but
here we
wish,
go. Goodbye.
I wish
Goodbye.
I would have loved to have seen. I would have loved to have seen Gio's reaction without actually seeing it on TeePublic. And like I told Brian, it's 100% on me. I didn't deactivate the shirt before the plug, and that's my fault. And so, but I'm glad that you enjoy it. So glad that worked out. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to our next panel, guys. And this is by far the biggest one we have. Yes, everyone in the chat, everyone watching live replay, we're talking about this bad boy, the Batman. Matt Reeves is the Batman, starring Robert Pattinson. Here's a look, and I apologize if the image is a little too dark for you. That's just the look in the trailer. I didn't want to edit it. I wanted to give you the full actual look of it. And then here's an actual still of him as Bruce Wayne as well. And so we got an official trailer, gentlemen. We got an official trailer here. A wealth of footage from this movie. They still have a ways to go as far as filming, but Matt Reeves was able to put something together. And we learned a lot of information at the same time because the panel was very long. Matt Reeves was talking for a very long time, and he revealed a lot of tidbits. Too much for us to cover here. I will say that if you're interested in that, just go ahead and search online like DC FanDome, the Batman, and there's going to be a news outlet out there that's going to be covering all of this, and you'll be able to read out. Yeah, watch our reaction, and you'll be able to listen to Matt Reeves' comments there. But if you want to read it in actual Word format, and you can search it and you can go read all those comments because there's a lot of good stuff in there. The biggest thing that we can talk about outside the trailer is that this is set in year 2 of Batman. He's officially in his 2nd year in the suit. But let's dive into this trailer, gentlemen, because look, I mean, we've heard a lot about this movie up to this point, right? What it's going to show, what it's going to feel like, what it's going to be like. And the trailer, no matter what you were expecting, I'm not going to believe anybody who says, oh, yeah, that's the movie I'm expecting. Because nobody was expecting this type of movie. Nobody at all. The trailer is an anomaly. It is brilliant. It is brutal. It is violent. It is exactly what you want from a Batman character. Outside of the sheer brutality of Matt Reeves' Batman, the biggest thing I can take away from this is that we are finally, after all of the iterations of this character, we are finally seeing the detective Batman. We are seeing the actual detective Batman. And the biggest piece of evidence to that is that in the trailer, he is actually at crime scenes. He is actually at crime scenes with police officers involved in all of this stuff. And to me, that is like an overwhelming positive success. I don't care what you show me. I am so hyped for this movie. I am so pumped for it. I think Robert Pattinson fits the bill perfectly for the character, and I cannot wait to see this movie. Keith, I'm going to you first on this one, man. Thoughts on the Batman?
Batman. He's back. He's back finally. Listen. First of all, as always, people. I don't know what to do with you. Not you guys. People still complaining about Robert Pattinson. I'm seeing like, oh, he's emo. He's emo. What's his name? The vampire. Whatever. What's that called? Twilight emo Batman.
Oh, Edward. Edward. Yeah.
Edward. That was his name. That's right. Edward. Yeah. Cullen or whatever. Yeah. Shut up. No. Listen. He looks great. I like the eye. I like the eye makeup. You know, it's kind of sort of like the Green Arrow on the TV show where he wears the eye stuff instead of the mask. But maybe he eventually went to the mask, which I didn't like. But I like that. I like the detective stuff. You know, he's talked about that. That's one of the first things he said. The director was like that was going to be one of the biggest things he wanted to do was get back to the detective stuff, which is awesome, which I love. This really is looking more and more, and a lot of people speculated about it, but it's really looking like Long Halloween, which is great. That's a great story. It's, I guess, like that is the voiceover. I mean, is that Paul Dano? Do we know that for sure?
Yeah,
it's different characters, but mainly Paul Dano.
Yeah. So I wonder if he's like if it's a version of Long Halloween where he's the killer instead of I don't want to spoil that, but if anyone hasn't read it, but agree.
I still have Brian's
agree. Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Oh, do you? Okay. Oh, I know. Oh, wow, you have that. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
He told me he was the one that told me to buy it, and he still hasn't read it.
You have it? Did you read it? Have you read it?
I haven't read it yet. Brian has. I haven't yet.
Oh, it's so
read
good.
it
Oh
one
man,
day,
you got it.
I couldn't put it down.
Right.
was that?
Yeah, it's really good. I remember reading it back in high school, or maybe a little bit after high school, whatever. But anyway, but yeah, it looks great. I'm so happy to see Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon. I really love that, and yeah, the idea of him working with the police, and we talked about it, in our reaction. I mean, there's times he's kind of like Spider-Man in that sense, where there's police that are on his side that are with him, and there's police that are like, as soon as they see him, they want to go after him. I'd love to see him towing that line. I'm curious about more of the Bruce Wayne stuff, though. What kind of Bruce Wayne is he? Because if he's in year 2 of being Batman, like he's still trying to toe that line as well. Like, what's he doing as super, billionaire, famous guy, Bruce Wayne? Like, how's his relationship with the city and with the authorities in that sense? And does Gordon know? Does Gordon know who he is? There's a few storylines. I think maybe I'm probably wrong there. People will correct me. I think maybe in year 1 that Commissioner Gordon might actually know. Yes, I don't know 100%, but there's versions of it where he actually knows, and that would be interesting if they actually have a working relationship. So I'd be curious to see that. So Zoe Kravitz as Selena Kyle.
Kyle.
Catwoman, yeah.
Can't wait to see that, man. And just it looks great, man. Did we catch Colin Farrell at all? Everything went so fast.
Oh, Keith,
you haven't seen?
Whoa,
Keith?
okay. No. So don't say.
So
don't say anything. I'll pull the screenshot up. But so we can. I'll show you here in a second. I'll find it.
If it's what I think it is, and I'm like, oh my god, was that really him? I couldn't tell. I kept
unrecognizable.
Yeah. Okay. I kept looking at it like, was that actually him? Wow. Okay. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying it was fantastic. It was my second favorite one.
Oh, you were loving it, man. You were, yeah.
I absolutely freaking love the very end of the trailer with the logo coming up. How it does that?
Yeah,
the logo's cool.
The logo was amazing. I'm probably for sure getting that on a shirt. But yeah, it was fantastic. I cannot wait to see how this turns out. So excited.
Gio.
I agree with all you guys on everything that you guys have said. I was very impressed that out of the 25-minute panel, Matt Reeves was talking for 22 minutes of it, and you could not keep your eyes off it. Like you were in and just a believer of his vision, his approach to this movie, what he wants to do with the Batman character, not just over one movie, but over 3 different movies, and not just the Batman character, but also the villains. He stated that this will very much be an origin of sorts for the Rogues Gallery that you're used to seeing. I mean, it's evident in the trailer. The Riddler that we saw is not the Riddler I was expecting. I mean, he has goggles, like a green jacket, gloves and whatnot, and I was like, "Whoa, is that Paul Dano?" And yeah, it is Paul Dano. Wow, just impressed. So we're gonna see again evolution of characters throughout this trilogy. But for the trailer itself, I mean, wow! Like I don't know that Nirvana song. What's it called? The one that
hold on.
Something Come Your Way or whatever, but that was very well done, very well to be used.
Something in the Way.
What?
Something in the Way.
Yeah, great song. First time I ever heard it, but it was just very impressive given the 25% that they've shot. I mean, it's not a lot for the movie. And given that, the movie comes out in October, so 14 months away, like it's going to be a while till we get another trailer, but we're going to be watching this one so much throughout the next.
Oh, I forgot to say also the scene that he beats the person.
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up. Oh my God. Amazing. absolutely amazing. It's just everything about it was truly just absolutely magnificent. It blew expectations out of the water for me.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Gio.
No, you're fine. I'm done.
And like Jeffrey Wright, and like there's so many intriguing scenes about it too. Like the moment where he's in the precinct and all the cops are going after him, he's going after a cop. Like, what the hell is going on there? Like, I'm just so interested about everything that is happening. And you guys know how I feel about Matt Reeves. Obviously, with the Planet of the Apes movies, I think he's one of the most brilliant directors out there. And so I'm so excited to see him take on this character. Keith, going back to Colin Farrell, here is what he looks like in the movie. This is Colin Farrell. That is Colin Farrell. Like, how is that Colin Farrell? That is insane.
Yeah, like, me and Kevin and I were looking like, was that the Riddler? Was that Colin Farrell? Like, I couldn't tell.
That is, and I also love the line in the movie. His one line where he says, "This guy's crazy." Like, it's so perfect. It's so perfect for this type of character. I can't wait. Before we move on, I know Anthony Manzano had a question earlier, and he just put it in the chat again. Thank you, Anthony. He says, do you think the Batman movie with Matt Reeves is directing can be pulled off with R rating, or is PG-13 perfectly fine?
Yes.
I'll say this just quickly. I think PG-13 is perfectly fine because they toe the line all the time. PG-13 is not what it used to be. It is so close to R rating without the blood. You can easily get away with this movie being just as violent as an R-rated film, just without the blood and the bone breaking and stuff like that. So you can definitely get away with it.
You just don't like the sound of the blue.
Well, no. I mean, yeah, I agree with Jake. You definitely could, but this movie has not taken place in the main continuity timeline. This is its own separate thing. Walter Hamada himself confirmed that. And just looking at the trailer, the blood on the duct tape, like that totally calls for R rating. Like,
it's not R-rated, Gio. No way you're going to give an R-rated Batman movie.
Come
on.
Why not?
No.
I actually kind of agree with Gio.
You can do just as.
Here's the thing. If the difference between a PG-13 and an R rating is a couple of F words, then no, by all means don't. But if you're able to really show that, you know, like you said, Jake towing the line, and you know the darkness and the corruption. And like someone said in the comments, Riddler, very Jack Ripper, very Seven-like. Go for it. It's already been proven that these R-rated movies can make $1 billion, and not only $1 billion, but apparently win Oscars as well. Joker clearly is the most recent example. So it can work. They'll probably go PG-13, but if they go R rating, I don't see the problem. It doesn't affect the main timeline. That's the whole beauty of the multiverse. And then when it comes out on HBO Max later, you can do a PG-13 viewing or format. So,
listen, it's the wrong. We're taking the wrong lessons from Deadpool. Like, everybody's like, let's make everything R-rated, and that, like, it doesn't need to be. Look, I don't disagree with you, but you can do all that and it still be PG-13. Like, as long as the violence, and the action and stuff needs to serve the story. The story doesn't need to be placed just so we can make it R-rated and have, like, you know what I mean? Like, if the story calls for that and the board sees it and goes, look, this needs to be R-rated, so be it. But if they're specifically going for that, then I would disagree with that. I don't think that would be necessary. You know, Punisher needs to be R-rated, but Batman doesn't necessarily need to be.
I'll step in because we do have to move on, guys. We got a couple panels left here and a big one. The next one on the list is the most surprising of the bunch and probably number one for many of us, and that is the Suicide Squad. James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. And I'll go ahead and throw this screenshot up right here. We got our first official look at the Suicide Squad, the rambunctious crew that he has put together of characters that are just unlike any we've ever seen. We got obviously the staples in Harley Quinn and Joel Kinnaman's Rick Flag. You can see Captain Boomerang in there, the returners. But then we get characters like the douchey Captain America, and you see
Peacemaker.
You see Peacemaker in there. You know,
Javelin,
TDK, the detachable kid, I think is played by Nathan Fillion. You have
that what his thing is?
Yeah, so he can pull his limbs off, which is one of the things he does. Polka Dot Man is in there. I mean, there's so many characters that we get, and we obviously got the behind the scenes footage too. which before the Batman trailer was the highlight of the entire day for me. It was brilliant. It's exactly what a James Gunn movie should have been. And I'll say this too. This is real quick from producer Peter Safran. He shared this. He said, "This one is completely unique. This is a gritty 1970s war movie combined with the brilliance of James Gunn's characters and comedy." Now, I don't know about you guys, but I got that from the featurette perfectly. That's exactly what I got from the footage we saw. And I cannot wait to see this movie. Gio, thoughts?
I completely agree with you. This movie looks insane.
And this is this needs to be R-rated. This needs to be
I
R-rated.
think it doesn't. I think it has to be.
I don't understand you guys. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. You know, the B-roll footage, it just, what it is show? Explosions, gunfires, bazookas, you know, actors, you know, saying don't get attached to these characters, you know, which is what you want to hear from a Suicide Squad movie. You know, they're meant to die. They're not. Oh, sorry, they're not meant to survive the missions that they go on. Okay, that's just that's who Amanda Waller is. You know, she does not care. And the
Mute.
There you go.
Who muted me?
You muted yourself, buddy.
Anyways, Jake, we were raving about Rick Flag's outfit, dude.
Dude.
Well, the comic accurate,
Yes.
like uniforms is what's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he needs to put on a little bit more muscle, but I mean, that's other than that. Yeah, the outfits look great. I'm a believer in James Gunn. I still laugh at just the circumstances it took for him to make this movie. Like, if you guys are aware of that, like, it's just it's crazy what can happen. You know, definitely looking forward to this. Bring on the trailer.
Keith.
Looks great. This is my probably thing. It's just a very close second with the Batman. I'm most excited about, man. I was so excited about James Gunn directing this film, and yeah, definitely get that war film since he talked about a little bit of Dirty Dozen, not Dirty Dozen. Yeah, is it Dirty Dozen? Whatever. That one movie with Jim Brown where they're escaping from prison or whatever. Great. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Definitely get that feel. Is it Dirty Dozen? Yeah,
I think so.
I'm mixing up with something else, but yeah, definitely get that feel. This is what like the Suicide Squad should be, like that Dirty Dozen kind of Usual Suspects kind of feel where everybody's kind of bad. You know, some people are a little worse than others, but I kind of get the sense that any of these characters, and maybe even Harley Quinn, like any of them could die. To be honest, I doubt it with her, but you never know. You know, I think we got her spin-off film earlier this year, and don't really know. And it didn't do as well as I'd hoped. So who knows? But yeah, who did we say? Who's Idris Elba again? What's his name? What's his character's name again?
Bloodsport.
Bloodsport. Yeah.
Was it Bloodsport?
Yeah.
Yes, Bloodsport.
Yeah. So, which is cool. Polka Dot Man. Like, I can't believe they're doing that.
That's awesome. I'm so excited for Polka Dot Man.
Silly character. Oh my god. Who's Pete Davidson?
Blackguard.
Oh, okay. I was curious about that. Oh, yeah. Man, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the music.
Yes.
All the great songs are going to be in this movie, and yeah, this looks like madness, man. I can't wait.
Brian?
This is my number one. I'm so excited for this. It's going to be just an absolute ish show, and I cannot wait. I can't believe they're even using a CGI character, Weasel. Like he's just it's going to be crazy. I honestly actually think I kind of figured out the story, but I'll save it for another time. And also, give me King Shark. I cannot wait to see King Shark. I think he's going to steal this movie. I really do. And
Well, because he's probably going to be voiced by Taika.
Yeah, well, that too. But they kind of almost look like they're Gio, because you watched the Harley Quinn animated show. I think they're honestly, if they go after that type of King Shark, people are gonna love him. But I cannot wait for this. I almost liked this showing better than a trailer. Honestly, it was.
I will take behind the scenes footage every time.
Yeah,
I'll take behind the scenes footage every time.
Yeah, it was funny to me. I saw a comment that said, "It's funny how Suicide Squad put out a B-roll thing with 100% of the movie shot, but Batman put out a full trailer with 25% of the movie shot." So it's so true, but
that's fine.
I cannot wait.
Also, a little cool thing here too. They released a couple posters. This is one of the favorites. This poster is just brilliant. Poster is just absolutely brilliant. I mean, you get all the names here: Rick Flag, Polka Dot Man, King Shark, Soria, Javelin, Thinker, Amanda Waller, Bloodsport, Ratcher, Ratcatcher 2, Mongol, Peacemaker, Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, Savant, played by Michael Rooker, Weasel, played by Sean Gunn. I mean, TDK is Nathan Fillion. I mean, and you can see, look at his arms. You can see how his inside of his arm with the TDK. He can detach his limbs, which is the big thing there. So this is just going to be a rambunctious group of crazy heads and headed by someone like James Gunn. I mean, my goodness. So it's definitely going to be a fun ride. Before we move on, Gio, why don't you tell everybody who's watching about how they can find us on audio, sir?
Absolutely. We're not only doing videos on YouTube, but if you're on the go, you can listen to us via podcasts and platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Pocket Casts, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. We encourage you guys not only to listen to us, but subscribe and interact with us as well. Whether you're commenting, rating, those kind of things do give us exposure and puts us out there for others to discover. So when you do listen to us, we'd appreciate you if you just go a little bit more and definitely do those things. And we very much appreciate it.
Yes, sir. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the final three panels here. And we are going to have to move a little quicker on these ones, gentlemen. And the first one is going to be the Wonder Woman 1984 trailer. We did most of our discussion on the breakdown on Saturday, but we can kind of give our thoughts here as well. I'll start. I thought it was an incredible showing for the trailer. We get our first official look at Kristen Wiig as Cheetah, and I put it up on Twitter. I thought she looked way better than I was expecting. And here's a few screenshots. So here we see her actually with the lasso going toe-to-toe with Wonder Woman herself. And then this shot, which I apologize is blurry, but in the moment with movement, you can't really see. That is her as Cheetah. That is the look. That is the look of Cheetah in this movie, which is just going to be absolutely badass. We get to see some footage of them fighting. I don't know about you guys, but I'm very excited. I thought the trailer was awesome. I thought it looked great, and I'm very, very excited for what 1984 is going to bring to the table for whenever we do see it. Brian, thoughts on this one?
Yeah, very excited. This was my number 3. Yeah, I don't want to see any more. Personally, I don't need to see any more.
I agree.
I don't want to see any more until this movie comes out. I've seen enough. I'm happy, ready to go. Still love the song better in the first one because that song is just epic. But yeah, no, I no more. I'm good. Just give me the movie when I can.
Let's go, Gio.
Yeah, definitely agree with what you said, Jake. I want to see the Amazonian Olympics. Again, they teased that.
And apparently that's the opening of the film.
Makes sense.
I read that that's going to be the opening of the movie.
Probably a flashback.
Well, obviously she's not that old.
No, I know, but I meant like she's probably going to be sitting there reminiscing. Smart ass.
Yeah, but
no, it's going to be
fantastic.
Current scene.
Brian, you walked right into it, man. You walked right into it.
She's gonna
smart ass.
she's gonna wake up. It'll be like Tom Hanks in Big. She's gonna wake up and be a little kid again and go back to Themyscira and be in the Olympics.
Gio, go continue, man. Continue.
Well, no, the only other thing I'll say
Sorry,
is
sorry.
I thought the panel had probably the best moment of DC fandom, and that was
Linda Carter.
Linda Carter talking about, you know, how her daughter finally understands the Wonder Woman character and what that character means to a lot of people, and how her saying that means so much to the cast and crew, especially Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot, because, you know, they look up to her. You know, they love her. They love the original Wonder Woman, and for her to say that about them and the work that they're doing, for me, was probably the best moment of DC fandom.
Nice. Keith, you weren't on the panel. Neither was I. But thoughts on this trailer, man?
Yes, loved it, man. I'm agree with Brian, man. I don't want to do two more, man. We're supposed to already have this movie 2 months ago or whatever, a month ago or whatever it was. But yeah, I don't need to see any more. But it was cool to actually see in action. I think that jet is going to be invisible.
Yes. Yes.
Somehow. Maybe some kind of yeah, man. As soon as they mentioned like, I forgot to tell you about radar, it's like, oh, okay, well she's gonna make it invisible somehow.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, cool flashback scenes. I didn't catch her aunt. What's her name again? I'm sorry, I keep blanking names.
General Antio.
Yeah, what's her name? I'm sorry.
Robin Wright.
Jenny.
Wright. Yeah.
Robin Wright.
Robin Wright.
Yeah,
There
sorry.
you go.
I'm
Yeah.
getting old. Robin Wright. Yeah, I didn't catch her. Did anyone see her at all? I don't think I remember seeing her. She's supposed to be in this, right?
She'll probably be in that
What? Really?
Olympics. She'll probably be in that
That's what I
Olympics
thought I
part.
heard.
Yeah, they're probably keeping her off because she probably doesn't have a lot of footage. That's why.
She what?
Yeah.
Keith. Robin Wright was in a later panel with all of them. So
Okay, cool.
yeah.
Well, yeah, because she was awesome, man. I wish they hadn't killed her character off. I really
Me
liked her.
too.
But yeah, she's really cool. Again, Maxwell Lord looking shiny and glossy and golden. I wonder. I'm still curious about Chris Pine, Steve Trevor, man. I just wonder what's going on there, man. Is he real? Is he really real, or is it? I just can't wait to see what's going on with that story.
Real.
I don't know. I don't know what's happening there, but I don't know.
I mean, he's
I don't know, man.
flying the plane. How can he
Like
not be real?
Listen, he's saying, "Hey, people, I can give you whatever you want." You know, just so. What if that's just a thing she wants, and then what if it's just not really like reality? Like he's there, but he could be some kind of manifestation of just something that she wants, right? Like she wants to see him again, or I don't know.
In the first trailer, they show Maxwell Lord holding this device, and
looks
the
like a
device is supposed to grant you whatever you want. And we hear in the second trailer, Kristen Wiig say, "I want to be an apex predator." Well, you're a cheetah now. And Gal Gadot, Diana, she's staring at the plane, wondering what she wants, and obviously the answer is Steve Trevor back. And so I'm curious, though. Well, no, they're not going to do that. I mean, you can't kill him off twice, because I was going to say I'm curious if he survives in this movie. And what?
But that's why I don't know that he's real. What if he just goes away? Like, what if
He's gonna come back because of him, and then at the very end, go away as he has to do this or something, and gone.
He's going to crash
Some
the
kind of
plane into the
sacrifice
ice and freeze for, wake up in present day.
This is
Part
the
of the plane
last
crash.
time you'll see Chris Pine. Calling it now.
I kind of think so.
We'll
Kinda
see.
think so.
We will see. Let's go ahead and move on, though, gentlemen. We got the next panel to talk about, which is going to be a quick one, which is the Aquaman panel. Not a whole lot happened here. We did get a few little details on this one, and that is that James Wan was joined by Patrick Wilson on the panel and confirming that Ocean Master will be back for the sequel. which is really, really good news because he's a great character and he was just a great part of the first movie. But the biggest takeaway from this panel is that Juan said himself, the second one is going to be a little different, or a little bit more serious, a little bit more relevant to the world we're living in today. That's where it wants to go. Now, I'll just say this quickly because I want to be able to make sure we get to the next one because we are running out of time. I don't know how I feel about that comment. I'll be honest. I don't know how I feel about it because I like the first Aquaman for what it is. I don't want it to become too serious. I don't want it to take itself too serious because these movies are supposed to live in the vein of the first one. Now, I'm never going to doubt what James Wan does, obviously, and maybe it's not to the extent that we're thinking it is. But I will just say that for the moment, I'm just thrown back by the comment because I want the first one in a different way. I want that tone. I want that kind of feeling to it. But we'll see. There's still a long way till we get this movie, but definitely interesting. Gio, thoughts on this?
It makes sense. I mean, the first movie is usually about establishing the character in the world, right? And the second movie is when you can begin to build on that and present more serious ideas. You know, we saw that in Spider-Man 2, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Thor: The Dark World, so on and so forth. I have no doubt that Captain Marvel 2 will be in that same way as well. But yeah, like you said, it remains to be seen. It's a ways off. I mean, we kind of didn't really learn anything, honestly, about this panel. So yeah, not much more to say.
Brian.
Yeah, this panel was pointless, personally, in my opinion. That honestly didn't really even need to be done. It didn't really tell us anything, in my opinion, that we needed to know or really want to know. I think his seriousness is just in the vein of he's not going to play Pitbull songs when they're jumping out of a plane in the middle of the desert. Like, I think that's stuff like that. Jason Momoa is always going to have his jokiness. That's part of his little shtick. But I bet you the story is what's going to be more serious. Like, I fully anticipate Nicole Kidman's character dying and something like that tone of seriousness. But as far as the panel though goes, it was, to me, utterly pointless.
Keith?
Yeah, Brian, you hit it right on. That's exactly what I was going to say. I think you're still going to have Jason Momoa playing the character relatively the same. Maybe just some higher stakes. And I know that, like, it's a big old battle going on under the ocean. Like, it was high stakes in the first one, but it may be something more serious that, you know, he's got to take. He's got to. The movie ended with him kind of being like he's the new leader. He's this whole kingdom that doesn't know him at all. You know, so he's got to assume that responsibility and maybe that kind of thing. You know, just his growth, the new leader of Atlantis, and whatever I don't know, whatever obstacles come that way. That I think well, maybe some higher stakes for the character, and for his friends, and hopefully, yeah, like you said, less Pitbull songs and all that kind of stuff. Less of that kind of stuff, yeah, and maybe a little more. Gio, all those movies you mentioned, that's exactly right. I think it's a very good point. Kind of like a Winter Soldier type of thing, where just higher stakes for the character. So I'm looking forward to it. You know, I know the panel didn't really give us much. You know, this one's probably a ways away, right? I mean, I don't think 2022 maybe at least, or I don't know. So, but we'll see. But Jason Momoa's great. So as long as he's Aquaman, fine.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the final panel of the show here. Not the final panel of Saturday, but the last one we're going to be talking about, and that is the Black Adam panel. Now, there was actually a lot more dropped for this panel than expected, and Dwayne Johnson was really the only one involved in this. He did bring Noah Centineo in for a brief appearance, who is playing Atom Smasher in the film. At this point, Those are the only two characters that we knew were appearing. And I'll go ahead and throw some concept art while I'm throwing. These were all revealed in a nice little video as Dwayne Johnson was narrating the video, kind of earning a little bit of a backstory about the character, where he's from, that type of stuff. Nice little cool piece we got here of the character. And teased that he's been in prison for 5,000 years, which is obviously going to piss the guy off a lot. But the biggest reveals for this panel, this movie, is that the Justice Society of America is appearing, and the confirmed characters are Hawkman, Dr. Fate, Cyclone, and Atom Smasher, who is played by Noah Centineo. So, very, very, and then there's this cool little shot here of him flying off with the Justice Society of America back down there as well. Pretty crazy, guys. Pretty crazy. I mean, we didn't really know where Black Adam was going at this point. What kind of story it was going to tell. We obviously know the history between Black Adam and Shazam, but the fact that they're introducing the Justice Society of America, that they're introducing characters like Hawkman and Dr. Fate, which is huge. This movie could be a lot bigger than we were expecting. It has definitely jumped up my radar on DC movies. I'll say that much, especially going off of not having too much at this point. But yeah, I'm definitely surprised with how much we learned on this one. Brian, thoughts on Black Adam and everything that we learned on Saturday?
I'm very much more excited. I still don't think Superman's going to have a big role in this movie. I think they'll save him for 2. To be honest, the thing I'm most excited about is seeing Hawkman. I love that character. He's always been one of my favorites. Just because he's such a badass looking character and he carries that club around. But yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. I personally don't think they're doing Justice Society of America as much as they're doing just like a Justice Society. Because I mean, unless those characters are coming from America to where Black Adam's country is it Kundar? Something like that. Yeah,
but that doesn't mean he's gonna be there. He might be in America.
Well, I would imagine he wants to go take back what's his. So
yeah, maybe.
But yeah, I'm curious. I'm much more anticipated. The whole entire time I was just laughing and waiting for Kevin Hart to show up because of what you said. But yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. Very excited.
Yeah.
Gio, thoughts?
Kevin Hart's going to be. Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Keith. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, Kevin Hart's going to be Hawkman. They held that back. That chapter. But
I was so mad.
Gio, thoughts on this one, man?
So wait a minute, hey, guys. To answer a question, so is Black Adam facing the Justice Society?
Yes.
Okay.
He's going up against them.
So he's going to whip their ass, pretty much, right?
Yeah. Not necessarily. Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate is a scary character.
Well, we'll see. But yeah, I like what I hear. He's looks like it's going to be a very character-driven story. His character, enslaved 5,000 years, and the gods granted him power to do good, and instead he seeks revenge. And it's like, well, you thought wrong. So that's going to be interesting. And I don't know. I think overall I just like what I hear because, on the last show, I think I talked about how Dwayne Johnson plays these characters that's, he's a muscle guy, but he's also soft, thinking of Jumanji and Central Intelligence with Kevin Hart. But I don't think that'll be the case here. I don't want Black Adam to hold back. I want him to, do justice his way. What did he say? Truth, justice, and the Black Adam way.
Yeah.
I was completely off. I really thought we were going to get a Henry Cavill confirmation, but he did
I told you.
kind of hit at
He teased the future.
Yeah, fighting Superman, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, I'm for sure looking forward to this. I can't wait till they start filming because it's been 6 years.
Yeah, and to note to what you guys are talking about, this is the closing statement of the panel. He said, "Let's let the Flash, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, let's let them know something. Things will never be the same. The hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change." So he's not just teasing showdowns with a single person. He's teasing showdowns with everybody, which would be really cool to see personally. Keith, thoughts on the Black Adam panel?
Yeah, it's definitely where it's going. I think it's going to be. I mentioned in our reaction that kind of sort of like how in the TV show Legends of Tomorrow. Hawkman's kind of chasing Vandal Savage through time. He's like this immortal character. Like they're fighting back in the day, then they're fighting in modern day. I think there may be a similar situation going on here. But I gotta agree with Gio, man. I think he's gonna take it. He's gonna take these guys at the end, and then maybe we'll get a tease in this one. Certainly in the next film we see him in, where it's gonna be a similar thing, except now he's facing Wonder Woman and Superman and the Justice League, right? Like they're trying to because he seems like, and you kind of hinted a little bit, Gio, where he plays these characters that do have a little heart, where like there's going to be some kind of sympathetic angle for him, right? Like he's not going to be necessarily a bad guy. He might be wrong, like it might be like a Killmonger situation, like with this guy, where you kind of, his methodology may be wrong, but maybe his ideology might be, his motive might be understandable, but he's just kind of, like you said, vengeance and all that stuff, which is not why he was granted the power. So it's fascinating. I really, The Rock, playing this character, we're finally getting some story and seeing these images, and it's really, after all these years, like it was really exciting to see. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Well, Gio, I know that there's one last thing that you wanted to talk about, and we don't have a whole lot of time here. We have about 5 minutes, and I'll give this about 5 minutes. But this is the overall success of DC fandom and what it means for the future of events like this. Now, I'll say my 2 cents first. I think that this DC fandom has just proven that Comic-Con doesn't need to exist anymore in the form of movie panels. In the form of everything else, Comic-Con should exist. But as far as how movie panels operate and possibly television panels operate, I think fandom just proved that it doesn't need to operate there. And this also adds on to what Marvel did a number of years ago when they announced their slate at their own little Marvel thing when they took over the El Capitan. It's just another reason, another check next to it being like, okay, maybe Comic-Con doesn't have to happen every year and we can do our own thing every so often. So thoughts on that statement?
Yeah, this is not good for Comic-Con at all. Because if you think about it, Hall H is shared in one day between 4 or 5 different movie studios. You got Marvel, DC, Lucasfilm, Legendary, and whatever else is out there, Sony. And now, Warner Brothers realizes, hey, we didn't just get a couple hours of social media hype. We got a full 24 hours. And the things that were trending, the top things were DC fandom, Batman, Suicide Squad, Black Adam. It was a plethora of things that was trending. So now Warner Bros. Is probably looking at this like, you know what? We can kind of create our own event where we don't have to do scheduling, pull actors off sets for movies and, have directors come and, fly them out, hotel them, and then, have them show up for a half hour. Like, this pandemic is going to change a lot of things. And I think one of them is travel for meetings, businesses, corporations, conventions, and stuff like that. I think it's going to change. But for this, this is not a good sign for Comic-Con in the movie panel sense. I could still see Warner Brothers maybe sending a cast and crew if a movie is going to come out not too long after Comic-Con, like in the fall time, just to promote that movie. But as far as exclusives go, I think these studios are now going to have their own online global events, or maybe in person. Who knows?
Brian, thoughts on that quickly?
Yeah, I'm very curious. As someone that absolutely loves Comic-Con and got to go to it, I fear for it. I think Comic-Con should be nervous. I really hope that it doesn't change, but I wouldn't be surprised after the way this weekend went. So,
Keith?
Well, yeah, Comic-Con. It's not movie con. It's Comic Con. So I don't think they're really that necessarily. I mean, it's going to be a hit, right? It's going to be a big hit. And Gio, you're right. Like this, the way DC and Warner Brothers did this was spot on. And it kind of shows like this. Maybe this is the way to go from now on. And it was very successful. I think there's something to be said about having crowds and people line up and getting crowd reactions and. Seeing Loki come out and do his performance like he did, all those years ago, and surprising the crowd with that kind of stuff, or getting crowd reactions with the reveals of logos or trailers or whatever. So, if and when we can do that again, I think we'll still have that. But certainly, the whole thing of having studios just doing their own. Studios or companies or whatever doing their own, like D23s or like this DC FanDome sort of thing, or like you mentioned Sony or whatever. Maybe that'll be the way of the future, But Comic-Con, it's been around forever, man. It's been around for 50 some years, nearly 40, 50 years, and it'll just kind of go a little bit back towards what it was before, Lucas kind of started that thing with, by bringing in Star Wars and promoting the movie part of it, and then other people started to follow suit. But there are some purists out there that actually that's good news to them. Like they wanted to scale back down to what it used to be, and maybe it'll be something that people can actually go to again. But definitely everything will be different, and that's for sure.
I will say one last thing, just quickly to add on to it. If, let's say, someone like Marvel does continue to do Comic-Con and stuff like this, I think that they strongly need to open up the idea of just filming it live and not being a secluded 6,000 people get to see it. That's it. And then they have to worry about it getting leaked and people freaking out. That needs to go. Everyone needs to have the opportunity to see what you're doing, because Jake, you and I went. It's damn near impossible to get inside Hall H.
Yep.
It's insane.
We didn't even go near it because there was no possibility.
No, we literally saw it from afar and was like, cool. But what's gonna give you more attention and fan service and like Twitter stuff? You doing it and giving only these certain amount of people, or doing it, having the people that are there pay for it to be extra, to be there live, do all that, and then broadcasting it to the world, that's going to win every single time. So I think Comic-Con needs to consider that, because, I mean, there are going to be people, myself included, that I would pay to go and see it in person, if I was guaranteed, rather than see it online. Yeah. But I'm not going to go to Comic-Con every single year, but you're damn sure I'm going to watch it on a stream. So I think they need to just rethink how they do it, and that could be the future of Comic-Con, personally.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap up tonight's episode of Apocaflix now. Thank you to everyone who's been watching live for this entire time. I know we went a little overboard, but there was a lot to discuss, a lot of thoughts to get out there, and I'm glad we were able to do so. Again, as I mentioned up top, you can find all of our panel live reactions and watch-alongs on the channel. They are there for for you to access. Gio and Brian headed the entire day. Myself and Keith popped in, as well as Jacob earlier in the day. So go check those out. We really, really appreciate it. Of course, as Gio mentioned, make sure you're checking out our Apocaflix swag. TeePublic, link is in the description, as well as our podcast channels. Links are in the description as well. So check those out. And then for Friday for Apocaflix Now, we're officially doing a watch along to the Avengers, the OG Avengers. You can find us there Friday evening, Friday night, wherever you are, checking out the Avengers, watching it together, which will be a lot of fun. So for the crew, so Gio, Brian, Keith, and myself, thank you so much for joining us on Apocaflix Now. Make sure you guys are following us on Twitter and Instagram at Apocaflix Movies, staying up to date with everything here at Apocaflix, and we will see you guys on Friday.
Good night, Rachel.
Yes.